Whenever I would think about American cities with the highest density of great Asian food, my mind usually went to Los Angeles, maybe Queens. I never suspected some of the country's most diverse, delicious Asian cuisine would be in Texas. I should have known. Houston is the 4th most populated city in the country, and 1 in 4 people here were born outside of the US. That's helped create this sprawling port city's mind-bogglingly multicultural food scene. And there might be no better time to eat our way through the Asian restaurants here than Lunar New Year, one of the most important holidays on the calendar for many cultures. It's a celebration of the arrival of spring and turns the Asian restaurant scene here into a mosaic depicting how different cultures celebrate the festival.
This dish in Vietnamese is called thịt kho trứng, which means, translated, it's braised pork with egg. It's very simple and humble. Growing up, my mom cooked it very often, so it's actually a year-round dish, but this is like the quintessential family comfort food dish. So because that is all about family, this is why it's a dish that is eaten during Lunar New Year.
At her restaurant, she serves up the fatty, caramelized pork in a non-traditional container.
My husband, who's Korean American, this is like a bowl that they would typically eat bibimbap in, and we all like the idea of letting that rice crisp up on the bottom and kind of get like toasted, like a true marriage of myself and my husband as well.
Borrowing from each other's cultures, integrating new styles into classic foods, Houston doesn't just accept, but revels in delicious cross-pollination.
Has Houston's food scene changed or grown a lot in recent history, or has it always been great and just not enough people have been talking about it?
I think it's a little of both. I always felt like the food here in Houston was great. It still is under the radar, but I think it's getting out now where I know people who are flying to Houston simply to go eat.
Today's Chinatown began developing in the late 1900s as immigrants and refugees from across Asia settled here, opened businesses, and raised their families. Over the years, it's become a thriving international community, which is why many locals now call it Asiatown, to reflect the growing diversity here. Take it from 2 of the biggest advocates of the city's Asian-owned restaurants. They co-founded the Chow Down in Chinatown Facebook page during the pandemic to foster support for business owners.
If I walk down one strip center here in Houston, you've got representation of Malaysian, of Chinese, of Korean, of Filipino.
Indonesian, Japanese, the list goes on. I was blessed to grow up with so many different nationalities, ethnicities. But that's what I feel like makes our city so great.
My mind is blown, like the pho, the dim sum, like all the amazing Chinese food.
Stacy moved here to help her family expand their Korean restaurant from LA to Texas. One of their signatures is chewy, snow-white rice cakes in a light, refreshing broth, a holiday necessity in Korean culture.
The rice cake soup, you must eat it on New Year's. The color of the rice cake, pure white, and that's supposed to mean like a fresh start, you're getting a clean slate.
And because the circular shape is said to look like coins, the rice cakes also represent good fortune for the new year. And who couldn't use a little more of that? Luckily for us, Houston doesn't have just one Asian haven where we can seek out auspicious wishes. About 30 minutes west of the city center is the suburb of Katy, which a few years ago opened its own Asian town. In addition to being a connoisseur of great t-shirts, Alex Aoyoung is the chef behind the Malaysian restaurant Phat Eatery. And every year, he goes all out for this holiday.
The feast of the year is Chinese New Year. We spend days and days to prep a good dinner for the family. Posoritas is a traditional Malaysian, Singapore Chinese New Year dish. The main ingredient is salmon, raw salmon.
Fish is a homophone for abundance or surplus in Chinese. Every ingredient on this plate has an auspicious meaning.
The sesame oil, that means everything going smooth. This is a sweet sauce that we Everything, sweet family, sweet couple.
And of course, the thing that makes the world go round.
Money everywhere, all over the floor, all over the ground, yeah.
Then everyone grabs some chopsticks and gathers round to collectively toss our auspicious salad. It's said the higher we toss, the more luck we'll have in the new year.
While we toss, we have to say lo hey, lo hey, lo hey. Lo hey, lo hey. It means you're doing better. You're doing better every year. You're like, you get promotion, make more money.
All right, so I need to say that every day.
Yeah, we did have a guest 1 year hit the ceiling. Yes, it's a 17-foot ceiling. He went all the way. Yeah. Yeah.
Very auspicious New Year for
Yes,
him.
yes. Oh, he's doing well. He comes back every year.
So fortune is probably going to be knocking on our doors any minute now. Speaking of rolling in the dough, cultures across Asia have a penchant for welcoming the new season with their own different versions of spring rolls.
A little misshapen, but a little extra flat
Yeah, it's all right. It just takes practice.
Savory meat or crunchy vegetables, rolled in an ultra-thin wrapper, with better technique than mine, then dunked in oil for a perfect, satisfying crisp.
So if you go to a Filipino party, somebody's bound to bring some lumpia. It's bite-sized, easy to eat, it's delicious.
Which is your favorite one?
It's got to be the Shanghai. This guy right here, it's a pork and shrimp mix.
Why is it called Lumpia Shanghai?
Filipino cuisine in general, it's just a melding of a whole bunch of different cultures from like Chinese, Indonesian, Malaysian, Indian.
Be More Pacific first launched in Austin, but the magnetic pull of his hometown was just too strong.
I always said to myself, I would never move back to Houston. The more I came back, the more I kind of fell in love. You can meet any type of person, eat any type of food in Houston, just super inviting of anything different.
Here in Houston, on a bedrock of Southern hospitality, chefs showcase the bold flavors of their Asian heritage honestly and unabashedly. They know there's plenty of room on the table for all cuisines and styles to be welcomed and celebrated here.
I really feel like Houston knows flavor. Diversity in the demographics here translates to diversity in the food.
And the influence and nourishment different Asian cultures have found in each other's food throughout history. That culinary hybridization is happening in real time all over Houston, evolving alongside the people making the food. This city welcomes cultural melding and unapologetic flavors. It just wants you to cook your realest, tastiest food.
End of the day, I think of it as food. Food that brings everybody together.
Especially if it means good fortune for all.
Everybody get together, wish everybody best of luck, best of health.
Letting bygones be bygones, you're starting anew, eating, getting together with people. I feel like all of the Asian cultures that celebrate Lunar New Year, it is about that.
The climate in the world right now just needs more, togetherness. And hopefully everybody will realize how amazing our dining scene is here. So, come visit.